Good morning. Welcome to Radio and TV Rita, where we have today's news for you preppers. I'm Rita. Welcome to Coffee Time with Rita. So, let's get down to it so we can get through this. The world news is very disturbing this morning. The world news is very disturbing this morning. So disturbing, you guys need to hear it. The United States last night yesterday morning, Pacific Standard Time, tested an ICBM nuclear missile off the Marshall Coast, launching it from California, letting everyone world know we had the SALT treaty we basically passed, so we would not be we wouldn't be doing a missile test. But apparently, the U.S. is so desperate that it might be tested for two reasons. Two. Three or four can be on the list. Either A, I want to talk about this severely this morning. President Biden could be testing it for various reasons. But it came up this morning on my news feed. The first world news is very disturbing. A nuclear missile was tested, launched from California, and detonated near or around the Marshall Islands. Yeah. So for some of you out there this morning, think about it. You better prep with the life depends on it now, because the United States is basically rattling the proverbial savior. There's four reasons they could be doing the proverbial savior and letting the people know. One, they could be rattling it against China. Think about it. Uncle Joe decides the hell with China and we're going to rattle the saber. Two, could be rattling it against North Korea, who keeps launching them. Apparently, the last 2 months, 12 days apart or so, give or take, apparently they launched nuclear weapons in the area of the Marshall Islands. Now, they said they launched them, and it was multiple warheads, and apparently had 4 warhead loads or something. I read the report this morning, and I was shocked. All right? This is big news. The United States launches nuclear weapons to test. We haven't tested nuclear weapons in a long time. Now it's coming. So, like I said, China, 1. North Korea, 2. Iran, 3. Russia, Mother Russia, 4. And the coup of all of them, the United States could be testing warheads. And with President Biden controlling said warheads, he can launch against the Trumpers. Think about it. This is an alarming thing. Anyone who's either Chinese, North Korean, Iranian, Russian, or Republican that doesn't meet the guidelines, this is why you guys got to think carefully. Now, I know Pee Wee said to me the other day, "Oh, you're a leftist, really?" If I'm a leftist, why do you think I basically am just sitting here thinking of it? I mean, think of it. Then, on another note, they're trying to reset the Federal Reserve, or the reserve currency of the world, to the yuan. And if it isn't that bad, there's one other thing that's looking pretty crappy. In other news, world news, not that it matters, Tone's going to have to come on later to tell us. He's probably working still. The Queen of England is ill and at Balmoral of her summer castle. Now, I know you guys don't really care for the Queen and her Jubilee and all this stuff. But the Queen's very sick. Royal family is rushing to Queen Elizabeth's side. See another news article. Anderson. So it's all about, she's 96, so you got to think about that, right? But still, it's sad, And if she does pass away, I will be giving a discussion on our channel and what the future holds for England, because I am very fond of the Royals and I'm well versed about the Royals. So, but anyways, let's get on with the prepping news because I want to get this over with. But I sent a message this morning to Ducky. That's moderator Zoe, and wished her good morning. Been reading my handbook too. I've been meaning to get to the preppers list. Now, a lot of people have asked how come the ham radio books that you study aren't in the preppers list. It's because no one's telling me if they'd be interested in prepping, So, toiletries like deodorant has gone down in price, by the way. Soup, now there's a small problem where some soup is being sold out. So just to be aware, all right? So, most soup has gone up in price, by the way. Food is. Paper plates, plastic forks, they went down in price. Hand sanitizer, that's part of the toiletries, that went up. Foods like sourdough starters, that went up. So, little bread pans went up. Lanterns, certain lanterns, oil burning lanterns went down in price. Oil lamps went down in price. Paraffin went up in price. Candles and candle holders went up in price. For you, that includes scented candles. WD-40, something that Zoe recommended, went up in price. Higgins hand trowel that he recommended, or little shovels, up in price. Your basic toiletries like your Tides, your dish, your laundry soap, up in price. Ziploc bag, up in price. Your foods like raisins, up in price. Your whatchamacallit, your protein shakes, up in price. Your nuts, up in price. A lot of these things like protein shakes and nuts are up in price due to the fact that you can live on those to get your protein. A lot of flour has gone up in price. There's a wheat shortage, so wheat's going up. So if you want to get your wheat, you better get it soon because it's for your bread. Some wheat sold out, but wheat has gone up. So, oil, your cooking oils, your canola oil, peanut oil, and corn oil has gone up in price. Your vegetable oil up in price. Your sardines, your non-essential items like portable TVs, compasses have gone down in price. Survival kits, shovels, the full shovels, Peanut butter up in price. Vienna sausages, some of those are sold out. People are stockpiling Vienna sausages as fast as possible. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna go through the list today. Someone said to me, "Oh, well, I come in to tune in for the list. Where's my list?" You want to earn a gift card? Give me my list every morning, so I know what the Rita stock market. This is the stock market for preppers. Okay, food, canned meats up in price. Like tuna and mackerel and you know crab meat, shrimp, mackerel, kippered snacks, oysters, smoked clams, like I said, various sardines, anchovies, all up in price. We have a lot. Compasses down in price. Another thing that went up in price is your vitamins. Sewing kits went down in price, and cloth like and you better get your sewing kits as soon as possible due to the fact that there is a shortage of cotton. So if it's a cotton thread, get it while you can. Your other items like your bungee cords and your paracords, parachute cords, and your electric and duct tape and your plumber's tape is gone up in price. Your fast acting yeast went up in price. Your sugars have gone up in price. Some sugars are sold out. By the way, real maple syrup. I don't use the generic crap. So if you want generic crap, go find it yourself. Real maple syrup is literally up in price. Your seasonings are going up. Your salt, your pepper, your poultry seasoning, your bullion's gone up. Some bullion places are sold out. Batteries, some batteries have gone down, some batteries gone up. Your body wash and your bar soap has literally gone up. Your dish soap gone up. Your shaving cream's gone up. Your razor blades are going through the roof. Your ibuprofen, your Tylenol, and your naproxen or your acetaminophen down in price. So your fishing lures have dropped in price by maybe a few cents. Doesn't matter. It's so high. Fishing tools like fly fishing rods, fishing poles, etc. They are gone down in price. Some things are sold out. A lot of the canning, canning pots and canning jars sold out. People are panicking, so better get in there. Your short range and long range, your world band radios you can buy, they have stayed the same. First aid kits are going up. Just to let you know, people are starting to panic there. Preparedness books are being sold out. Coolers went up in price again. Ramen, okay, ramen has gone up between $3 and $5 since last we talked about, $3 to $5. So that's for a case of 24. I'm gonna go check the comments, make sure we have comments. But there you have that on that. So if you're getting a ramen, trust me, it is not easy to do it. Toilet paper, paper towels have gone up. So if you guys think inflation's bad, wait until you see it in 2023 when you can't get anything. And I'm going to say something there. Okay, your Denny Moore stews, they've gone up in price. Some of it's sold out. Your Beanie Weenies have gone up in price. Again, your Beanie Weenies, the little Beanie Weenies, your Van Camp's Beanie Weenie cans, they went up in price. Some of your Bush's baked beans or B&M baked beans I grew up with gone up in price. Some are sold out, so take that into account. Your deck of cards, Uno and Skippo and bicycle cards, same price. Your water has gone up in price. Remember, I said this every day. Stockpile water and food. Electric razors, they haven't changed. The battery powered AA batteries, the portable Norocos, Remingtons, and Bronze have stayed the same price. Coffee has gone up in price. Some coffee sold out. So while we talk about this for a minute, canned meat went up in price. Your cast iron 5-piece skillet set, your pre-seasoned cast iron, the Dutch oven's worth it. It is gone down in price. Rolled oats went down in price. So you might want to get rolled oats. Oats are a good deal to have due to the fact that oats will be good breakfast foods for you all. Those little crackers with the little plastic sticks with the cheese you put on it, that is dropped. So you might want to get those when you can. Instant milk, evaporated milk, dehydrated milk, or not dehydrated, evaporated and condensed milk has gone up again. Keebler crackers have gone up. Mac and cheese went down, except for some mac and cheese has gone up 3 times. So certain flavored mac and cheeses, people say, well, why is some going up and some going down? Well, let's just put it this way. If you prefer a flavor like original, it stays the same. If you want something that tastes like garlic Alfredo, it's 3 times the money. Actually, 4 times. Goldfish crackers. I know it's a cracker snack that Ducky likes. That went up in price. Coats went up again, $5 to $10 minimum because of the cotton shortage. Percolators have gone up. Coffee pots, the Coleman coffee pot went up. Your bunny foods went up. Dog food just came in, and dog food is a whopping. It is approximately 3 times the amount of money you're paying for doggy food. So just think about that. Beef jerky and meat sticks, another protein snack, as I call it, went up in price because it's protein. Pistachios gone up in price. Your police scanners, same price. So don't worry about that. Your nuts, whether it be Planters or the Fanny's favorite brand, the Happy Belly brand by Amazon, went up in price. So we're going to skip that. More canned meats here, your corned beef hash. Those things went up in price. Your canned hams, little, we call them the Danish hams, little 1 pound Danish hams. If you remember, they went up in price. Your canned meats like your Spam went up in price. Certain foods like Kraft mac and cheese, the cheapos, the cheapos that's up there. Basically, I'll show you what I'm talking about. This stuff sold out. So if you guys are really worried about the mac and cheese, like this stuff here, sold out. So if you're prepping like I have, I got hundreds of these. Better make sure to stock them and keep rotating and eat them down. That's why I haven't bought much food this month, except for meats. And the meats are getting to be. We'll talk about the meat problem in a minute, okay? But you guys got to think and prep. When I'm done, I will post in the comment in the live chat the link to your the list I'm going through. Okay, ramen went up. Okay, we're almost done, by the way. Certain things like your suddenly pasta, same price. Your milk powder and your butter powder is gone up. Those home kits, people say, well, how are they? Fanny says they taste like crap. But if you want a 1 week multi-person food, the other reason, and I'll get to that in a second, is or when the list is done, is the fact that if you buy these food kits where you have 30-day supply of food, they may or may not be tasty, and 2 is you don't get enough calories. So your dehydrated foods have, some of it's gone up, some of it's gone down depending on it. So like I said, you gotta prep soon. So, we're just going to go through this. They call it emergency food supply buckets, and they are going down in price, but at the same time, no one wants to eat it. So, double sleeping bags, I always recommend those if you have significant other you're living with. That will help you keep warm if you have no power. So, think about it. Your tools like your Swiss Army knife's gone down. Your backpacks went up. Tents went up. Apparently, people are stockpiling tents. I don't know why, but we put tents in there just in case. Your Coleman lanterns went up. They went up about $30. Your Coleman stoves. Some people say Coleman's running out of materials to make the stove, so there might be a stove shortage. So your Coleman propane stoves and your dual fuel powerhouse and your regular camping stoves, that doesn't take propane, but like unleaded gas or white gas is going up. Wool blankets went down in price. Matches went up in price. Again, certain things like pancake mix went up in price. The bucket foods, the bucket foods have gone down in price. The emergency preparedness buckets. So just to let you know. So with that said, let's continue with the local news on what's going on the food shortage supplies for a second, and to tell you guys what's going on as well. So today is September 8th. So you guys can realize, I've just given you the daily list of the thing for your prepping. And here is the list. Use it as a model. Basically, the American people don't realize in approximately 7 days, 1 week from today, the railroad doesn't make a deal. They go on strike, which means Congress has to get involved. And when Congress gets involved, they're going to literally have some problems with supply chain issues. And this means foods. This means TVs. This means everything. And you, the people, need to realize to prepare for it. I mean, look, here's the problem going on in today's news as of today. All right. One, you got everyone up in arms about Donald Trump. Okay. You got half the country wanting him to wear an orange jumper. You got the other half the country wanting to basically revolt and overthrow the government in Donald Trump's name. And you got people like me looking at the big picture of what is going on in this country, right? I mean, look, you got the news on the front page, the DOJ. You got the news about all these people in Trump's camp, Biden's camp. You have all these news agencies giving the news spotlight to things that don't matter. Okay. Let me put it to you this way, okay? For some of you people out there tuned in this morning, are you well aware that as long as the news focuses on Donald Trump and Biden and his cronies, I'm not going to be political on this channel. I'm just making a statement here, okay? This is big, okay? This is prepper news, all right? This is big prepper news. That in a week, 1 week, the railroads, and it doesn't show on the news. I'm going to Google this real quick for you guys this morning because, I'm a nice person. We're going to look at, right, so basically the news is 18 hours ago, Joe Biden, see, here's what's going on, okay? Well, let me read you this, okay? It says, potential nationwide freight rail strike is looming, threatening to cripple the U.S. economy ahead of the holiday shopping season and November's midterm. Roughly 115,000 railroad workers is going to leave the job as early as September if they cannot. Now, Biden jumps into, the Presidential Emergency Board recommends to call 24% raise, payback, and cash bonuses. The bulk of the railroad workers belong to unions. So basically, more than 9 in 10 railroad workers would vote to reject the PEB recommendation and go on strike. So federal law gives Congress the power to block or delay a railroad strike. If workers were to walk out, lawmakers could vote to enact a PEB deal to appoint arbiters to fast-track the new contract. Association railroad experts say that extended walkout would devastate industries relying freight to transport the grain, coal, diesel, steel, and motor vehicle parts. Shipping containers would pile up at ports severely congesting supply chains and sending prices soaring ahead of the holidays. The railroads are actually very critical, yada, 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 blah, 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 okay? And it says, after the pandemic supply chain disruption, the past 2 years, it's not time for more uncertain and disruptions. Yeah, that's the White House thing. I say go on strike. Top freight carriers laid off 45,000 employers and nearly 30% of the combined workforce. Yeah, the laid off was more likely 30% of the retirees. Yeah. Workers complain they can't secure any time off, even for scheduled doctor's appointments or family events. Emotionally, you're drained. I understand that. 30 years ago, most of today's lawmakers and their aides have never dealt with this issue before, have little knowledge of the process. Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineer and Trainmen and the International Sheet Metal, To me, I think, and then this one is really bad, right? It says to avoid kneecapping the economy, right? See, the president can sit there and say, oh, we're going to do this. But you know what? The problem is um, and the problem is this is real news. And yet my opinion is the government is basically trying to throw the DOJ a bone by saying you take the blame for this, and then Trump's taking this, right? But if there is a massive strike, it's going to cripple the entire economy, not including the Federal Reserve's sitting there trying to float the economy. It's going to sink it. The ship of state is going down the toilet. It's bigger than the Titanic. It's wider than the Titanic. It's taller than the Titanic. And if the engineers, let's just say the electricians, the engineers, the workers of keeping the ship of state afloat bails, I mean, literally, they say, oh, the president has. Oh, no, the thing is they're not going to give a 24% bonus. No, they want more than 24%. They're working around the clock, not even to see their doctors. Engineers can end up with diesel fume injuries and electrical injuries and everything else, and they can't see a doctor. They cannot see a doctor. Plain and simple. Think about it. And yet, they got to work their ass off. No offense to anyone here. They got to work their ass off to keep us fully supplied of food. But with the shipping industry crippled anyways because we don't have enough truck chassis and we don't have enough gen air coolants. And we could take and build several factories in this country, one factory, up to 4 factories, with the money we're putting into one aircraft carrier. And the government could basically get better rates on the shipping by trucks if the government turned around and made a deal with the factories to produce X amount of years, could even be part-time jobs, every amount of year, truck chassis, increase the supply on Mack trucks, Peterbilt's, Volvo, and Kenworths, and have new trucks replacing that. But you know what the problem is? Some states demand it to be either a new truck within 5 years old, which could cripple the entire state's network, which means the truckers will just leave, crippling the entire state to either supply their own trucks, which would mean a state-ran trucking company with all electric, which 80 miles, you'd have to go along, say, California would have to build hubs. You see, you put hubs in all along within an 80-mile corridor just to deliver from one hub to the other, and then you got to put in charging ports. But as Ducky said the other day, there was not enough power in California to power the entire grid of these trucks. I mean, I'm going to get Reverend Mike on board Saturday, 2 o'clock, talk ham. So we're talking about this power problem and the possible rolling blackouts in California. Yeah. Now you could sit there and say, well, what else is new in the world of news? I'll get to that. You see, this is big news. This not only hinders you, the people, to survive, it hinders the entire country if they go on strike. And they will go on strike. And then the Republicans will blame the Democrats for holding up this. The president, they're going to blame Biden and the Democrats for this whole strike thing. Let me use the restroom real quick. I'm going to continue because this is something you guys need to think about. Thank you for waiting. Okay, so basically, here's how it works. Okay, thank you for waiting, everyone. Here's how it works. The American people, if these people go on strike, they're doing it for two reasons. They're going to get back at the Democrats because most railroad workers and the owners of the railroads are Republican. Yeah. So if they don't get the working and the money that they deserve because they're delivering the nation's supplies, they will go ahead on strike, blame it on the Democrats, and the Democrats hold the bag. Now, on the other hand, the Republicans could do this because they have nothing to hold on to for 60 days or 61 days, 60 days, I think this 61 days until elections, right? Now, Ducky could probably look at this and say, how am I, I love Ducky. She's beautiful, great personality. Ducky would probably basically be completely right. If she looks at me and say, how am I looking at this? Think of it. The president wants to use the presidential powers to basically stop a strike. Let him go on strike. Maybe it would then tell us how much the people needs it. But at the same time, look what the trained people are doing, okay? Biden turns around and playing devil's advocate again. Biden turns around. He wants better rates for the 9 shipping lanes, or we call it shipping contracts for this country, to bring stuff from Europe, Asia, Africa, South America. You get it, right? All those things, ship ports, right? But at the same time, the country is crippled. Why is the country crippled? Well, let's see. Country's crippled for various reasons. One is shipping supply and demand, right? Supplies high, demands high, or supplies low, demands high, is what I mean. Yet, the American people are literally being screwed over. Literally. Let me tell you, the American people will get screwed over. They will get. Ooh, what's this? That looks cool. I'll have to look into that just out of curiosity. Cool. All right, so the American people are suffering, and they're suffering because of the fact that shipping is going to go higher. Now, Ducky said it herself the other day. She's like, "Oh, yeah, we still have 1 week today and they're not coming to fruition. You see, the people need at least the thing that they need to do with the railroad, whatchamacallit, the railroad is when they turn around and delay this, they're making a statement. They're saying, look, you got so many people on food stamps freeloading. You got so many people on disability. We're paying retirement insurance, Social Security insurance, taxes, taxes, taxes. We're delivering the supplies that comes in from these companies. And yet these companies, most of them are corporates, are Republicans, the big corporations. So the big corporations aren't worried, but they should be worried because slowly but surely the store shelves are getting emptier. And as the store shelves get emptier, you guys are sitting there going, okay. That means if companies fail, let's talk about failure for a second. It's part of my theme this morning. If companies fail or go bankrupt, if companies fail or go bankrupt, it's because the Democrats wanted it. Think of it this way. I know Ducky and I don't agree in politics, but you might find this to be interesting, what I'm about to tell you. The lifeblood of the Republicans are their businesses. But if supply low, demand is high, and people keep stockpiling, which I recommend, I'm not going to say don't, and that cripples the entire country. Mind you, the United States has some card up their sleeve to make this country communist. Think about it. You got them giving benefits to the, you know what? I'm just going to put in a new one. There we go. See, I can actually add a shortcut. So I added a shortcut. So basically, when people sit there and say, well, what's going to happen? How come it's going to happen? Why is it going to happen? I'll tell you. It's because the American people are going to see this country go communist and communist socialist. I mean, think of it. We're going down that path already. I mean, if you're willing to see free internet, free phone service, free rent, water, sewer, garbage, subsidized, and yet these people aren't, these chronic people literally buying into, we don't want to go to work because we feel safer at home because this virus is continuing. Then there's three options to fix this whole. What's that beeping sound? It's on my phone, isn't it? It ain't the dishwasher. I hear a beeping sound. Must be the neighbor upstairs. That thing's loud, man. Oh, wait. No, it's nothing. Hold on. No. I hear a beeping sound, but I can't find the beeping sound. It's not that. I hear it. What is it? My phone? No, it can't be my phone. What is it? You guys hear it too, don't you? Refrigerator wouldn't beep, would it? Oh, that's what it is. Oh, fuck. So here's the story. The beeping was coming from the radio. Apparently, Chloe didn't plug it in. Drive me nuts. Damn. Isn't that something? You're sitting there and you're trying to analyze it, and Moppy, he's going ape, and then you find out it's beep, 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 beep. Okay. Where was I? Lost my train of thought for a second. So Chloe was so damn stupid, she forgot to turn the radio off. And these take 12 hours to charge, by the way. So let's get down to brass tacks, shall we? So basically, what I'm trying to say is we might go communist because the government, if they can't, they let the big Republican companies go bankrupt, then they can move in and basically legalize and take over the food factories. That's the thing. Remember what they used to say? People used to say, those who control the food sources control the people. Think about it. I mean, right now we are in a precipice where you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. You can find out there's, yeah. Um, Great. I wanted there. I wanted to put this in my list because I was looking to buy something. Yeah, there we go. Great. Look at this. I just looked for a certain books, and now I'm getting all these people. I just want to. I'm trying to find some books. That's what I was looking for. I can't believe they have all these people doing this. Well, this should start. We can do this. So I'll just put this under birthday right now. So, anyways, I was looking for some books, anyways. So it's easy to just stick them in there and read them later. So, anyways, where was I? Um, you know, I was gonna say, out of um, that they want to control the factories, and to control the factories, they have to do what they have to do. And so they're literally trying to do this. There, that should be good. Whoops. This is a Kindle. I don't want the Kindle. I want the paperback version. There we go. So, anyways, the bottom line is for you nice people out there, you got to remember that we're going to see a lot of crap soon if just let me go to their website because I want to see what they have. I hate when they do this. It's like, do you want to buy? No, I don't want to buy. There we go. Yeah, so I was looking at these because of the thing. I'm going to follow this. There you go. So I can follow it and click later. All right. So basically, the bottom line is, you got to basically remember that. I was doing some prepping work, by the way, for you guys. That's what I was doing, prepping book preps, so I can actually put together a list for you guys. So, basically, the American people are going to see their dollars get shorter and shorter. And what both parties are trying to do is cripple the country. They're trying to strangle off the Republicans. By doing this, they don't care if the food shortage is happened by the Democrat side. As long as they can control the food shortage and food production, they don't care. On the other hand, they don't care that what they hurt, even if it's temporary to get their goal. Whereas on the other side, the Republicans, they want the trains to run, they want the food to run, but people don't want to listen. They know that um, without these people working at home, then there's nothing that can be done. You see where I'm going with this? The American people realize that without um, how do I say it? Without the American people knowing what's going on, they don't care if they cripple the entire country just for their goals. And the Republicans, they want to do things, but they also know if people don't go back to work, it cripples the country more. I mean, think of it. Right now, you have too many people wanting to stay home, work for home, act stupid at home, thinking no one's going to catch on to their being lazy at home. Truth is, people know they're stupid. People know they're dumb. You know? Yeah. Yes, I'm looking for something to eat this morning. Remember, I had a problem last night with food. Um, so I'm just checking to see my food supplies to see if there's anything I can cook that won't require a lot. But then again, there's people out there, the smart people, the preppers, realizing that if you're prepping, then you're going to be watching the food prices go through the roof. And that's something that's I've been doing. A lot of people say, well, what do you do about this? Or whatever you do about that? You just prep. However, my father-in-law thinks that good old God will not allow um, a delay in the freight because him. He believes God will deliver. If you believe in God, yes, God will deliver. But also, you must also help yourself. Think about it. People these days only want to help themselves too. Going down to a place and saying, I can't pay my rent, they cut the check. I can't pay my electricity, it's overwhelming. They know how to play the system. Me, I go in every month, okay? This is how I prep, okay? Where I am today. I turn around and I look Chloe in the eye and I say to Chloe, you must pay your half of the bills. And she does. She knows trying times. She pays half the bills. So my electricity is paid every month. So while people say, oh, just stack it up and then let it go and then go and pay, stack up the bills and then say you can't afford it. No. Unlike some people, I have pride. My pride is so high that I will pay my bills. All my bills are paid. Of course, you got greed in this world. And let me tell you what's going on with greed, okay? This is part of the prepping mentality. You got people out there, right? I read an article this morning. It said, you ready for this? That some streaming services are going to completely fail. Well, this is from the CEO of Disney. Let's talk about that news piece, right? Ducky's probably working away this morning, paying attention to nothing but her earbuds. And so let's talk about this whole thing that Bob Iger said. He said, the American people, give me 1 second, I'm going to clean this real quick. He said that streaming services will fail. Why? I'll tell you why. It's an interesting article this morning. Okay. So it goes like this. He turns around. He says some streaming services are going to fail. I say all streaming services are going to fail. Think of it. You got to think of the prepper's point of view. If a survival situation happens, which will come, and I'm not saying, natural disasters, but you got to think of the disaster mentality too when I'm talking to you guys about, you know. I would really love to find out where the Windex is. Chloe keeps misplacing that crap, and then I can't find the damn son of a bitch. Anyways, the story goes that the preppers I ain't cleaning my glasses with bleach. Sorry to say. So we'll figure it out later. So basically, the preppers know that it's going to get worse. And this is why I'm telling you this. You see, the preppers don't want you to know what we know. And that is, they want you to go and find Preppers channel on YouTube. They want you to invest in all this money to buy crap because they want to tell the truth. Truth is only half the truth to them opinion. They analyze the news. They say, oh, we're going to die soon because World War III, everyone's going to die. And yet, American people and the world people are stupid for not following up with prepping. Because remember what I said in the beginning of this video today. The United States basically signed a treaty a long time ago under Nixon and others saying that they would not test nuclear weapons. Yet, other countries test them because they're not following the protocols of the treaty that's signed. And yet, the United States at 1:13 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the 7th of September 2022 tested a long-range nuclear ballistic missile launched in California, and it went all the way to the Marshall Islands, carrying multiple warheads. Now, mind you, and now Russia's like, oh, you're violating your treaty and all this. Think of it. Biden could be using it for 4 or 5 different reasons. One, to deter South Korea from doing something. 2, to deter China from doing something. 3, to deter Iran from doing something. 4, to deter Russia from doing something. Or 5, they're basically testing in case they need to use it against an entire armada or army of Trumpers who want to overthrow the government for Trump. And they have to do is drop 1 or 2 tactical nukes, and they don't care if it takes 100 years to get rid of these damn vultures. And then they can go in and say, we're taking your guns. I mean, think of it. I mean, at that point, the people would realize that if the government's willing to nuke their own country, the government's willing to strip you of your guns. Think about it. I mean, literally. So, you got these preppers saying half-truths to a point. I'm telling you, look at the big picture here. If there is all these problems coming down the pipe, it's planned. It's not planned as in, the thing is, it's planned. You got the Republicans duking out the Democrats, right? Now, in this whole SHTF situation, which is brewing, it's boiling. It went from temperature 0 over the years to boiling, and we're on a stovetop. We're at probably about temperature 7 currently. 7 out of 9 settings on the stove for the burner to go to boiling. Now you can sit there and say, why? Well, let's just say they're slow boiling this, and And they're refilling the water from time to time so it doesn't boil completely. But the problem is look what's going on. You got the Republicans saying, oh, you got to worry about inflation. You got to worry about your gas prices. You got to worry. And Republicans telling people you need to worry about your guns being taken away. True. It's true. I mean, people sit there and say, oh, Rita's the anti-guns. No, I'm not. I'm actually pro-gun. But I'm looking at the big picture here. And yet, think of the Weimar Republic. Do your research, okay? History. And yet, on the Democrat side, the Democrats said, looky here. You know, the Republicans don't want to budge. They want what they want. They want they don't want to negotiate a deal for the railroaders. They don't want to negotiate a deal for gun control. They don't want to negotiate anything. And then you got these Republicans saying, oh, well, the Supreme Court's in our favor. We need to have more. The reason, as I said many times over, is they want the white population to be overpopulating the blacks and Hispanics. The problem is it's going to fail because the women out there that are all in the country, the suburbanites and others, I've talked to women all over the country. It is, these women, they're pro-choice. There's more pro-choice than non-choice, right? You could say, oh, well, think of it. They want the women to be baby factories. Now, someone who's 50 years old, like Ducky, who's maybe has period still or maybe has menopause, they don't want this. To her, she's not, to her, she's more of a burden to the country because even though, and I'm not saying she's a burden to the country. I love her dearly. What I'm saying is she's more of to the government, you're a burden. For example, they don't want transgender people to be transgendered because they need your sperm and your ovaries and uterus to produce kids. So if you don't produce kids and you go and have a sex change, you've destroyed your productive. If you're a white man who becomes a white woman or a white woman becoming a white man, then you've destroyed your production. But at the same time, if you deny the whites the medical treatment for transgender, for example, then the blacks and Hispanic trans will just do the same thing, pop out 20 kids and then expect the government to pay for it because that's their revenge against freaking not having their sex change. They'll go pop out 30 kids, not caring for the kids, and then allowing the kids to basically be on the public dole. You see? They could do that, and the government doesn't realize this, but the government, on the other hand, is only thinking about their white supreme commander ability, so technically, so the white, and so you got all these people on that aspect, and so the American people are so what was I saying? So the American people, that there's a whole bunch. So on the Democratic side, on the other side of the story is big, and let me see. Sorry, I'm looking up something for myself real quick. Okay, so I'm just checking them. So basically, the American people. Damn. Okay. So I got an email from Higgins this morning. It's like, he's asking if I'm mad. No, I'm not. I'm just staying away from the whole Social Security thing because, frankly, I'll tell you what's going on with that in a minute. But basically, you got the Democrats turning around and saying, look, they want to use you as a baby factory. They want to take away your rights as a woman. They want you to be a third class citizen where you basically get porked, have kids, cook, clean, and be the man's slave. And the women are saying we're pro choice. And this is what the men want us to be. Then we're going to take away their guns. We're voting against the bastards because our rights are more important. Um, so basically, I'm trying to find something. Um, Let me look up something. Mm, You know, literally. I mean, yeah, I'll tell you. Not great. Yeah. So, anyways, let me see if I can figure this out. I'm not mad at Higgins at all. Now I want to see this. Damn it. See, the problem is I'm not going to help someone who went ahead and got a lawyer basically without following through with Social Security first. Yeah, and then they can't find something in the blue book. It's because it doesn't exist. Let me see. Hmm. So let me see about this real quick. What's it under? Okay. See, I have to look at these because. All right. So, so basically, let's see. I'm gonna look this up. Okay. So apparently, I don't get it. Yeah. Let me see. All right. Hold on. So yeah, I was just looking up some for Higgins. I can't find it either. Let's see if this is. Yeah. Oh, damn. Damn. Let me see this. All right. All right, so I'll send this to him sooner or later. I'm just gonna cut and paste this notice right there so I see what the freaking stronghold is. Yeah, so um so basically Higgins is going to Social Security attorney, right? Throwing away all his chances to SSI because, I'm gonna email my friend my friend the information and see what she's got to say about this because Higgins keeps pressuring, and I'm not going to go and basically give him any information until I know exactly what's going on. So basically, the point is he thinks he can do this thingy. She's going to be the one that's going to help me because she works with Social Security. So I'm a close friend to someone who's an actual case adjuster who kind of ask specifically for help on this specific matter so I don't have to get involved. I'll just ask the questions and then in the end, you know. So he's like, "Oh, you're not helping me. Are you mad? It's not my job to help. You got a lawyer going for it. Go to your lawyer. Don't bother me. If you're going to bother me with it, then basically there's something wrong because, frankly, I told you to wait." I mean, let me tell you the story of Higgins, okay? I'm not angry with him. I'm just fed up with no one listening to my advice, okay? I'm going to send this email out. All right, So, anyways, the problem is I'm not angry at Higgins. I'm basically tired of being badgered and poked as the bear to asking for a question that can't be done. I mean, literally, I don't have all the answers. So, technically, what's the point, right? So, you guys are probably wondering the whole story about Higgins. I'll tell you real quick. So, Higgins goes in February and applies for disability, gets turned down. Literally, they say you can still work. Big, heavy work history, too. 30 years as IT. He has an injury because they didn't open the doors of the bus barn where he works. He works at public transit or did. Fumes apparently affected his lungs, and now he's got this lung problem, right? And yet he claims he doesn't want SSI, he wants SSDI. If he got SSDI, the problem with SSDI is SSDI would literally strip him of everything he owns, basically. They know this. I mean, literally. If you bring in $1,800 a month, you might lose $300 just for your insurance, right? This is an insurance thing. So you lose like 200 in Medicare. Then you say he goes to a specialist, and specialist charges $7,000 for the test. He might be paying 1,500 out of his own check for it. You see, so in the end, he's literally screwed anyway. Look at it, and if you own the house, they'll be like, "Oh, you don't qualify because you own a house." Excuse me, I use the restroom. So basically, what he's asking for can't be done. basically you got to prep as much as possible because of all these problems coming about. I mean, think of it. Social Security is going to run out of money, they say, by 2027, okay? That's 5 years. Higgins says, oh, I'm retired, I work for it. If your credits expire, you're not entitled. By the way, the only news I can find, and I'll be waiting till 9 or 10 before I get back to Higgins, due to the fact that so for first chief anchor at CNN dies. Bernard Shaw. That's the latest news, by the way. And apparently Steve Bannon surrenders. So, anyways, let me just say that, we're going to run out of money soon. The country's going to be hurting big time. And I want you guys to think about it. I mean, think of it. The reason Social Security is denying 99% of people right now, is because they don't have the fucking money. Literally. They don't have the money. Every year it's getting scarcer and scarcer. And every year people bitch about it, moan about it, gripe about it, complain about it. However, I will send Higgins an email. The email will state I'm not mad at him and I'm working on the situation slowly. You see? So you go, oh, that reminds me. I got a USPS thing coming. Hold on. So I got an email letter from what the hell? That's freaking crappy. That's not my mail. All right. Hold on. So, anyways, basically, I just told him I'm busy. Plain and simple, which is true. I'm working on stuff. Big deal. I don't care. See, now he's saying he even posted again about children. It doesn't matter. It's a child's disorder. I mean, literally, let me put it to you this way, okay? For some of you out there, okay? Let me give you a breakdown real quick of what's going on, all right? Higgins goes and he's asking me for something I can't find. I've been through the entire Blue Book. I wasted time yesterday. Couldn't find it right now. He finds some reference to it in the children's Blue Book under neuro children's. But he's an adult who's 57. He can't go back and be like, I need 52 hours of pay. I'm disabled. I mean, literally, sounds like a fucking con man. No offense. I mean, if you just fucking leave it alone for a while and just go see the lawyer and leave me to fucking deal with something else. I mean, this is why I'm getting irritated. Look, we have a prepping issue. We got Social Security running out of money. The government's going to run out of money soon, and they can't borrow soon. So they're giving as much food stamps as possible. Meantime, the country's crippled. And yet, I, on the other hand, am getting fucking fed up with fucking everything else under the sun. Literally. I was going to do a video this morning privately to Zoe, because, I'd like to express my thoughts to Zoe privately. And since she doesn't do phone calls, I was going to express my thoughts quietly to her, I love him. He brings me joy. Hey, how you doing, Boomer? Yeah. So I'm not trying to hate on anyone. I'm not a hateful person. I just don't like someone being on the one track. I mean, look. I mean, literally, I have my own problems already. You know, my problems are getting to the point where I gotta reevaluate certain things too. And yet, I don't need the one track mindset to distract me from what's important, which is prepping. You know, that's the thing. One track prepping mind. You know, and then I get too much spam mail anyways on other crap. Like I got like 6 spam mails that just came in from various Democratic and Republican candidates, which freaking suck. And I'm not mad. I'm more freaking getting irritated the fact that it's one track. I mean, look. I mean, literally, let me tell you what irritates me the most, okay? I tell you guys with a heavy heart, keep prepping. So it's the only way we're going to survive, right? Some people are on one track. You know, I'm about to go and get a 6-pack of beer, drink the fucking beer, and pass out because I don't want to fucking deal with, you know, certain issues. I mean, think of it. I got enough trouble as is. As is. We didn't even touch the base on the $50 to $100 a pound hamburger coming up next year. And that's just basic hamburger. I mean, think of it this way, okay? American people are suffering. And yet, we're in a drought. The drought equals losing meat, right? Tons and tons of meat lost. Because it's lost, there's going to be a hamburger shortage in 2023. Yeah. You know, 2023. So, the thing I don't like the most, right, is I got to focus on the future. You're the preppers. You need to prep, and you need to prep hard. Think of it. 60, 61 days till the election. What's going to happen when there's no food? What happens if they stop the trains? Christmas is delayed. Shipping is delayed. There's not enough truck chassis to deliver. You're going to see a grinding halt almost to the entire infrastructures of supply chains. They don't care. What they care for? Think of it. Plain and simple. Think of it. Social Security's running out of money. The government's running out of money. Currently, the United States federal deficit is approximately, we're at almost $31 trillion in the deficit. Check this out, by the way. If you guys really want to see, this is interesting, right? I want to share this with you. Yeah, right here. See? Basically, we have $31 trillion. That's $93,000 92,683 for that, and then it is about 245,000 plus change for um for taxpayers. That is taxpayer. Now, non-taxpayer, it's 92,000 per person. So each person's tax revenue is 13,000. And they're talking about payroll tax, Social Security tax, etc., state debt, local debt, I mean, literally, this just says right there, Hold on. Then it shows down there the workforce right now, and the workforce in 2000. So we're about 1 million short in 22 years ago, 1 million. Mm-hmm. So you have 333 million people, almost 126 million of taxpayers. Then you have 15 million union workers, 24 million government workers, 12 million jobs, and then you got gold per ounce, everything else. But then the Medicare liability is $34 trillion. The U.S. unfunded liability is $171 trillion. Liability per person is almost 600,000. Social Security liability currently in the trust fund, $22 trillion. To get rid of it, they're denying people. We all know Social Security is going to run out of money. So people sit there and say, "Oh well, you know what? Everyone. Let me put it this way: can it make the playing field fair for everyone? Everyone's entitled to Social Security, but not everyone's going to get Social Security because Social Security is almost out of money, and the government can't keep borrowing money." The household assets is 148 trillion. The national assets is 183 trillion. Each person's assets is about 552,000. U.S. trade deficits, $7 trillion of debt is held by the United States and by foreign countries. I mean, talks about how much the U.S. Treasury dollars, I mean, if you read the debt ratio here, this will just get scary. I mean, I can't basically keep, telling you how hard it is that we are going bankrupt. Literally, we are going bankrupt, and everyone knows it. $20 billion for an aircraft carrier. Mm-hmm. You know why other countries don't build many aircraft carriers? Because they're not efficient anymore. Yeah, that's the truth. And yet we don't see it. All we see is aircraft carrier means superior air power and superior might of a country. Country can have 900 super destroyers and be basically more efficient. And let's just say they decide they on top of that, they don't want carriers. They want to make two. Let's just say China gets a harebrained idea and keeps like a small aircraft carrier fleet and finds out that it's not profitable or not good enough for the country. And they go and build 900 super destroyers. And then they turn around and say, oh, let's build 1,500 super frigates and 2,000 minesweepers and then 3,000. I'm just blowing up numbers here. Let's just say, 3,000 super battleships. Eventually, they'll know what works and what doesn't. Of course, I don't understand why we lost our battleships, but you get the point. Thing is, we're spending so much money, we need to keep prepping. Because when crap hits the fan, we're screwed. We're screwed to a point of no return. So, think about it that way, everyone. Keep prepping. I mean, our food supply is going to go through the roof. I mean, literally. Guys got money, put it into food and water. Everything else is a luxury. If you gotta sit there and think about Christmas, make sure you get your your food and water. Everyone in your family, make sure they get food and water for because holidays might need to be cut short. Because do you want to spend that $50 or $75 per turkey, or do you want to basically make sure you get enough supplies to survive something? hmm The bottom line is it's not going to get any easier. So that said, keep prepping, keep looking over the list, do whatever you need to, but just remember the American people will love you if you keep prepping. And remember, the government doesn't owe you a damn dime. Plain and simple, what you get from the government, feel blessed. You might have to pay it back, still feel blessed. That's the truth. So think about it this way. The government's testing nuclear weapons now and telling people about it. Our government. That hasn't happened in years in the news. I want you guys to prep. The last bit of advice today is this. Let me use the restroom. The last bit's going to be very important. All right, peeps. There you have it. The rest of your news is this. Prep like your life depends on it. The U.S. is testing nuclear weapons. There's something coming down the pipe. It could be against us, could be against Korea, could be against North Korea, could be against Iran, could be against Russia, could be against China. Whatever it is, prep like your life depends on it. Focus and put in the mindset the government doesn't owe you jack shit. The government is not, you're not an entitled person. And then go from there. In the meantime, think about it. I beg you. Think about it. Keep prepping. Look at pricing. Buy what you can. Because if there is a nuclear war, you guys need to survive. People need to survive. And if it isn't, there's a civil war, it could turn into nuclear with one side winning with nukes. Prep for it. The mentality is the government can turn off the power grid, say it's a terrorist attack, crippling you guys more. Could happen. Why would they do that? Because they want to keep communications free. So unless you have a ham radio license, think of it. It's not going to get any easier. You got to prep for disasters, prep for power outage, a massive power outage, prep for civil war, prep for nuclear war, prep for any and all situations. Consider doomsday prepping, just in case. JIC, just in case. And then go from there. Because the more you prep and the more you realize stuff that you can buy once is sold out. Another tip for you noobs out there, if you have something and you want to replace it with something better, be happy you have that particular item that will help you. Won't take anything for granted. Be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for what you have, preppers, because when an SHTF hits the fan, we're screwed. Remember, the mentality is going to be there for you to be in survival mode. With that said, everyone, stay prepping, keep prepping, prep like your life depends on it. That's all I can say. Look for a video later today. And just remember, we'll be talking about later today the news. And because I like the Royals, long live the Queen. For the rest of you, think about that. The United States launches nuclear weapons, tests it outside the Marshall Islands. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. Food's going up. Water's going up. Non-essential items you don't need going down. Think about it. Inflation is going up. Why? It's the only thing they can do. They can raise your inflation with the Republican Federal Reserve dude just to make you vote Republican. But, like I said, women, they got their own minds and agendas. Your best bet? Prep like your life depends on it, because it ain't going to get any better. It's going to get worse. If it gets worse, at least you're prepped. Please add and subscribe. Please post comments. Please leave feedback, suggestions. Hit the like and subscribe button. Sold some fun for your family, including your dogs or cats or bunnies or service dogs or service bunnies. Hit the bell notification button. Hit the thumbs up button. And please leave the comments nice, is all we ask. Thank you. And God bless you in everything you do.